Business to Motorways of the Sea global project, B2MoS, aims to provide a suitable array of measures in order for ports to become efficient gateways. The ultimate goal is to boost the ability of short sea shipping to compete in more door-to-door corridors and facilitate the development of the 10T Motorways of the Sea network connecting Europe, bridging the gaps between the 10T corridors and revitalizing the peripheral regions. In order to address these underlying problems and in anticipation of a new era of information technology, the B2MoS global project is supporting the implementation of relevant EU directives, such as the reporting formalities for ships arriving in and/or departing from ports, 2010/65 EU. The main objective is to prepare port authorities, port community systems, and business stakeholders systems to efficiently comply with the requirements of Directive 2010/65 EU and take advantage of the possibilities resulting from its application to improve their services or expand upon new ones. The pilot activities have been developed by the Port of Civitavecchia, Porti di Roma, and IB, both implementing bodies of MIT. Italian shipowner Costa Crociere has been involved as B2MoS stakeholder, representing one of the major cruise shipping companies. The main purpose is to facilitate the crew and PAX list management. Costa Crociere involved ICT systems are the following: SAPI, used for managing crew and PAX data, and therefore data related to all persons on board. Data lists are sent once a day. MXP exposes web services with voyage information of all Costa ships. MXP has been studied and it could be included in future projects. Deployment, used for managing voyage data. It is a static data source containing the information about ETA, estimated time of arrival, of all Costa ships. As part of the transition towards paperless management of all documents and in compliance with the Directive 2010/65 EU, the aims of the pilot are to provide proper tools to shipping companies and ports in order to set up automatic communication between ship owners and PCS, to adapt those tools to directly communicate with NMSW, PMIS. The aim of this prototype is to test both processes and technical tools, able to allow shipping companies to be fully compliant with the next implementation steps. Rome Cruise Terminal, RCT, is a provider of cruise services in Civitavecchia Port. It performs all activities related to the management of services connected to passenger traffic on cruise ships. The company's information systems are focused on the management of secure access to restricted areas, in order to implement the security plan approved by the competent authority. Currently, RCT systems manage the useful data necessary to issue permits for people, visitors, hostesses, tour guides, etc., requiring temporary or permanent access to restricted areas managed by the company, according to port regulations approved by the harbour. Receiving data in electronic format allows operators to have the information in advance and to create a more efficient and effective embarking/disembarking operations plan. The PAX list is divided among passengers, tourists or general passengers, crew members, contractors, persons with an employment contract who are on board but are not part of the crew. The Port Mobility Company, PM, manages mobility services within the Port of Civitavecchia. In order to properly plan the services offered to its members, PM benefits greatly from cruise ship passenger data availability regarding ships in transit in the port. The Civitavecchia Port Community System, named JADA, is a hub application that centralizes data generated by various users, relays them to each other, and creates the opportunity to check and share resources and plan activities in the port. Data related to berths and movements are currently entered in the system by shipping agencies or ship owners. Moreover, this information is submitted before the actual event, thus forcing users to continuously manually update information. The use of information available to the owners in the national single window will ensure that JADA has accurate real-time information available. JADA updates its database through receiving continuous NSW service calls, acting as a gateway for users and various systems. The pilot sends the passenger and crew data from Costa Crociere of the ships moored in the Civitavecchia port. This data is processed by the PCS JADA and made available to RCT and Port Mobility, both of which provide services regarding logistics, safety and security, enabling better organisation, work and resource planning. Costa Crociere sends Civitavecchia port berthing information to PMI, Port Message Integrator, the software interoperability layer used to normalise the messages. The PCS Civitavecchia, JADA, retrieves this information through the web services exposed by the PMI. Costa Crociere makes berth information available within 7 days, providing detailed information regarding ship, berth and passengers. At fixed intervals, JADA calls the PMI services to retrieve information and update data in its database. It makes this information available in 2 ways: to third-party systems by exposing services, web services, to its own users via interactive access to specific functionalities. Currently, information related to berths of cruise ships is submitted by shipping agencies in PCS JADA. This data concerns information about the ship voyage, berth and number of embarking, disembarking or transit passengers. Before pilot, the passenger list was not present in the PCS JADA database. The list was provided via email by electronic unstructured documents, PDF, directly to RCT, mainly for security purposes. The disadvantage of this procedure was that information could not be automatically processed and therefore was managed manually. The pilot demonstrated the feasibility of receiving passenger lists in a structured format through an overview of the modified functions. A batch process at constant intervals calls the services provided by PMI to retrieve the list of expected berths of cruise ships in the port of Civitavecchia and data that characterizes them. The ships will be recognized by the following data: IMO number, call sign when not recognized by the IMO number. The recognition of the ship will imply the creation of a berth request in JADA database, with information related to berth and scheduled date of arrival. If the berth request is already available in JADA, this will be updated. If the ship is unknown in JADA database, the process creates a new instance of the vessel using data provided by the PMI service. This data may be completed afterwards by a user with the required rights. The movements can be displayed and processed by a specific form that has been extended, allowing the user to assess cargo details. A form has been added that allows the user to display the list of passengers and each passenger's detailed information, i.e. name, address, date of birth, etc. JADA makes available to RCT and to any other interested party a service that provides the list of Costa Crociere ships arriving and departing from Civitavecchia port. Each berth is identified by a unique recognition code. JADA also provides an additional service that makes available the passenger list of each Costa Crociere ship, identified by a recognition code. Each berth generates a movement in JADA. The movements can be listed by the appropriate functionality. By using a filter, it is possible to search the movements of Costa Crociere cruise ships. By selecting the movement, access to the specific section showing berth data is also possible. From berth data details, it is possible to select passenger data including general and personal passenger data, aggregated data such as total number of passengers on board, number of crew members, number of passengers grouped by nationality, number of passengers that need assistance, number of passengers grouped by age range. Export the passenger list or a sub-selection of it in several formats: TXT, CSV, XLS, XML.